Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, welcome to today's msfr Forum, a discussion where we bring the leaders, the civic shapers of our community to you, an accessible format. Today we are honored in having Muhammad Ahmad, our guest from Bright Future Vancouver, and he's running for mayor. The future is bright, and we have Muhammad Ahmad, Vancouver's mayoral candidate with a dream. I want you to walk me through that. We're going to spend the next 45 minutes talking about what it is that you have planned for the city and what is it that you're looking for from the city to make it happen. Prior to that, it's important to understand what drives us. And I want to walk into your life and hear about what it is that is driving you towards politics. It's a dirty game. Most people stay away, but you're facing it head on. What drives you?
Honestly, my kids, my children. I want to leave a better Canada, better Vancouver as I got it. I was sold on a Canadian dream when I first moved to Canada. And I was told that if you work hard, you pay your bills, you pay your rent, and you can make it, right? Like you can own a house. You can achieve anything that you put your head to, right? But now that dream just feels a million miles away. And I have young kids, and every day that I see them growing up in this city, this beautiful city, I just feel like that dream is even getting further and it's fading.
Wow. You know, a lot of times we talk about kids, but we forget that at one point we were kids with dreams, with aspirations to be Spider-Man. What were you like as a kid?
Oh, I was a very energetic, like hyperactive kind of kid. Growing up, like I was outside every single day playing. I love sports. I was the captain of my cricket team.
Wow.
I was the basketball captains. We won a provincial championship in Lahore in Punjab. While me being the captain of the team, I was the kind of person who was always outside, right? Like always outdoors and always asking, like, hey, how can I help? What can I do for you? Right? Let's do it together. One step at a time. It's going to be hard, but we'll do it together. That's
what's one backhanded compliment that I often get is when people tell me, wow, your English is very good. You're telling me you were born in Lahore. Wow, you're an immigrant. Okay, like most Canadians are.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. What happens, what goes through your mind when someone tells you that, you know what, this is not for you, Muhammad?
Honestly, it would not be the first time that anyone has told me that, hey, Muhammad, why are you doing this? You can't do this. All my life, like even as a child when I was in Pakistan, like people told me that I cannot achieve things that I put my mind to, right? I've always been that kind of person who dreamed big. I knew that if I work hard, stay disciplined, and have faith in myself and in my God, I can achieve anything.
Right.
And when I came down to Canada, people were like, oh yeah, you can't do this. There was this elderly gentleman I love talking about when I told him, hey, you know what, I'm planning to run. And he's like, I've been in Canada for 80 years. If I couldn't do it, you can't do it. So for the very same reasons that every immigrant is scared that, hey, if I take this chance, people will tell me to go back home. That, instead of it making me feel bad or put me down, what it makes me feel is like, hey, you know what? I can do this. Every single immigrant goes through the same thing over and over again because we're too often focused on how we look, where we come from, how is our accent, right? Rather than what do we bring to the table. Right. And that's the Canadian dream, right? It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter how you look. It doesn't matter what is the color of your skin. It matters is what you bring to the table. What are you willing to give away to achieve the dream?
It sounds to me that deep down you have this drive to help. Absolutely. That you're a community person. But why politics?
Well, I've been working with the communities for a long time, right? Like without a camera, which now I feel like I should have had a camera. But I had camera, I was working with newcomers, helping with their resumes, helping them prep for interviews, helping the Muslim community when I was in Cranbrook, helping other communities who just feels that they have been ignored. Because oftentimes it's not about injustice, or it's not about like the city doesn't want to help you. It's how it was designed initially. It wasn't designed for immigrants. It wasn't designed for people like you and me. It was designed for people who are already here and comfortable.
Okay. Is that what drives you?
It does.
But what is like one specific thing about the city of Vancouver that makes you want to really, grab the city by the helms and make change? Is there any specific problem that's driving you?
Well, homelessness.
We see it right outside.
Absolutely, right? Like, so oftentimes, like, you will see non-for-profit organizations, you will see the 1%, they're like, oh yeah, we are giving billions of dollars away to work with. They're like about, by the city estimate, about 2,715 homeless people last year.
Just in Vancouver, not
just
in
no, just in Vancouver.
Wow.
And Vancouver is one of the richest cities in the world, right? Like, we have a $2 billion budget. You're trying to tell me that this is not possible? It is possible, right? Like 30% out of all of them, they got eviction notice.
We're having this conversation in downtown East Side. While you walked into the office, you probably saw the situation outside the streets. How do you feel about the localization of all of this negative energy, unfortunately?
Well, too often we forget those people on the streets are human beings, right? Like, I'm not asking you to sympathize with them, but I'm asking you to empathize, right? Like, be in their position, right? Like, there was this guy not too far from here, a couple of streets down here. His name is John. He used to be a doctor.
Wow.
He used to be a doctor, and he made a mistake one time because he was going through some domestic issues.
Hey.
And since then, he's been in and out of rehab like about 3 to 4 times. And I'm like, you know what? Like, if you're not that far gone, right? Like, you understand that you need help. Why are you not going into a permanent solution, right? Like, and he's like, we don't have a pathway program here. They put us in a rehab. We clean ourselves up. And as some city councilor would say, put them in SROs. And those SROs are drug dens.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so they go back in the same system where they came out from. So the cycle continues. What we need to do is we need to create a cleanup plan, right? Like, you often
They did this in Surrey. They had a strip, it was tent city, and they actually managed to provide subsidized rental units for a lot of these people through their programs.
Okay, so there are 2 kinds of housing that we are working under Bright Future Vancouver. There is subsidized housing, and there is low-income housing.
Okay, walk me through that.
So
subsidized housing
and low-income housing. So there are 2 different things. So subsidized housing would be somewhere between $1,500 or $1,100 to $1,500, which somebody can afford. Somebody on a basic salary who is going.
I'm curious because when I give people money, it's hard for me to trust them. Is this stipend being provided directly to the landlords, or is it going to be given to our tenants who will in turn pass it forward?
All right. So how it's going to work is any building that is built on city-owned land. We're going to manage it, right? Like, we are going to, as a city, we have the power under Vancouver Charter to actually act as a landlord. We're going to take out all the contractors. We're going to take out every single corrupt tenant. Landlord, my apologies.
Hey, corrupt tenants are also a problem.
They are. I mean, so corrupt landlords, and we're going to put like proper protections in. We're going to hire unionized people to run that, the building. It is possible that city can act as a builder and build rather than giving land for cheap to the contractors. It is possible that rather than selling our land, we can rent it out for 100 years, lease it out for 100 years.
Mind you, a lot of people don't know of the work you do behind the scene in union organization. I want you to jump into that. What are some victories that you can talk about?
Ooh, with union, it's a big one, right? Like recently, I'm a BCG EU member. Recently, we had in modern history of BC government, we had one of the biggest strikes for about 8 weeks. I was the picket line captain.
Yeah.
I started off, and then I was
Right there on the front
right
lines.
front lines. Like we were at 900 Howie, not too far from here.
Okay.
For 8 weeks straight, we were there. It was raining. It was dull, sometimes scary because people came out, and people who do not understand that we are only asking for 4%.
Okay,
So union.
Just let me ask you a question here. A lot of people, frankly speaking, nobody knows you.
That
You
is
know,
true.
and this is something that we're trying to address here. And I want you to talk about some of the work that you've done with the union.
Okay, so union, I had different hats. Like I said, literally, right? Like, so I was a marshal, I was the picket line captain, then I was a zone captain. Zone captain is something that I was looking after a whole city. So while I was being a picket captain, I also opened up different strike lines, which was very new to me.
So you were basically mobilizing labor.
Labor.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go, I was making sure that they're all fed. Like one of the examples that I would give in 900 Howie, there were over 500 people, 2 shifts. We were 6 or 7 captains over there, and it was hectic checking in people, checking them out, making sure they're getting coffee. So I advocated for with the union to be like, hey, you know what? We need a budget. It's cold outside. We need coffee. I went to different
Human first approach.
Human first approach, right? Like I went to Nando's. They donated about 200, 300 meals.
Did you secure those meals?
Unfortunately, I was on another line when
Okay.
they got it. I was opening up a different line, in a different strike line somewhere in Richmond, and I wasn't able to enjoy or reap what I put in, but everyone else did. Right? It wasn't. What union taught me. It's not about you. It's about the family. It's the unity that brings us all together. Like there were people that I have never seen before.
Right.
But when we were there, it just felt like a family. When we were there, our job is to make sure that everyone is there because they are working towards something greater. And we did end up.
Yeah, and they're working towards feeding their families.
Exactly.
They're not putting Lamborghinis in their pockets, you know what I mean? They're just trying to feed their families.
Absolutely. And you know what, like with me, like I've always been the kind of person be like, hey, you know, how can I help? And when I was there, I realized, and this bright future Vancouver actually is a dream from, was dreamt over there. This is a baby of that 900 Howie. That while we were there, and I was listening to people and how again and again these politicians make promises.
Yeah.
These politicians give you their word. They tell you that, hey, we are the Labor Party, we are the this and that. But they haven't lived the labor crisis. They haven't lived or worked under the government or as an employee, right? Like one person talks about, hey, you know what, like one candidate, they're like, oh, I'm gonna build in affordable housing. And under his non-for-profit affordable housing, I believe like a studio apartment is 2,200. Is that affordable housing? That is not affordable housing. Somebody who is on a pension will come into a low-income housing.
Yes.
Affordable would be somewhere between 1,100 to 1,500.
Wow.
You can afford like a one-bedroom apartment, right? Like that is very reasonable. What has happened over time, like the prices of housing and the rentals have gone up, whereas our paycheck has stayed stagnant. We had to fight for 2%, 3%, or 4% every single time, and then people get upset about it.
So I'm a school teacher, and I often have kids coming up to me saying, hey, Mr. Q, what should I study? What should I do? And I give them my 2 cents. Some people are into labor, some people are into tech. I encourage people to move forward. But when I look at the streets here on downtown East Side, it hurts me to notice the fact that most people are young. What are you doing for the youth? The people who are going to drive the future, bright future here in Vancouver.
And funny that you asked me this. My youngest candidate on my platform is going to be 19 years old when he runs.
Good.
So in over 200 years, I'm going to be the youngest mayoral candidate or mayor to run as as a mayoral position. Because oftentimes, like these elderly politicians, they will tell you that, hey, you know what, right now is not your turn. You don't have enough money. You can't do this. They will always tell you that you cannot do something, right? Like, but they would never tell you that, hey, you know what, how can I help? Before even running, like I went to different leaders, they were like, oh yeah, that's too hard. You can't do that. Nobody would get you elected because you look like you, right? And very candidly, right? Like they never, they're good people, but they were being honest. They're like, nobody is going to vote for you because your name is Muhammad. I'm like, because the thing is, like, we often forget, what am I bringing to the table? I'm bringing the young energy, right? Like recently I made a campaign video about skydiving.
Yeah, I saw that. You jumped off a plane.
I jumped off the plane, right? Like sometimes you gotta take a leap of faith.
Yeah.
Right? Like that was the
Literally.
goal, right? Like what I'm trying to do is like I'm changing the rules of the game, right? I'm changing the rules of politics. I'm changing that, hey, this mentality that because we have a full-time job, we cannot do this. We can absolutely do this. All right? Like we just need to have that fire. Right? Like how Terry Fox once said, one painful step at a time. And look what he achieved.
And we're about to...
He's a British Columbian.
You know what? One of the candidates is saying that he might change the name of YVR to Terry Fox International Airport. What do you feel about that? Do you think...
I mean, that's a great idea, right?
Yeah.
Like we got to show Terry Fox some respect. But what he is missing in that is that the painful steps to get there. He comes from that, the candidate that's talking about, he comes from a billionaire family. He is a recycled politician. He was chief of staff of ABC Ken Sim. He is the reason he got elected. So oftentimes what you will see in the past 100, 200 years is like people come from different political parties. Like I would say recycled politicians, they keep on changing their jerseys and become progressive. They're like, oh yeah, now we are Mamdani, right? Like we are progressives. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. But aren't you the one who got them elected in the first place? Let's talk about Rebecca Bly. Like she was NPA, ABC, and now Vote Vancouver. My question here is like when I go and ask these people, like, what are you gonna change? Do you have a different donor base? They have the same answers. Just wrapped in a nice, like a candy wrapper in a box, make it pretty, polish it up, and be like, hey, here you go. This is what we're getting.
You know, the audience is going to eat me alive if I continue to glaze you, so I'm going to give you some hard questions.
Sure.
Why you?
Why me? So my answer is simple. Why not me?
Okay.
Right? Like, why not? Right? Like, you often say,
You're going to
why?
have to convince me.
I'm gonna convince you here. The reason being is I'm somebody who has lived the crisis. I've been here who has lost his job for 9 months in COVID time, barely surviving to a point where I was thinking, I'm like, am I gonna be rented out? I'm a neighbor who has seen his neighbors move out. I have friends who lived in the city for a while and then they moved out.
It's a huge crisis.
It's a huge crisis. And it's not that it is possible that we can take care of these crises. It is possible that we can put in the Roots project that we, Bright Future Vancouver, are suggesting. From permanent renters to permanent owners. We can have Roots for every single one if they decide to. What we're going to do is we're going to take the Roots project. So somebody, let's say you're paying $2,000 for your rent on a city-owned land, of course, run by the city. So the 20%, so let's say $2,000 that you paid, 20% would be about $400. That $400 is going to go towards a trust fund that we will create, an equity fund, where it will be saved. Like, so once you're ready, like 5 years down the line, or 10 years down the line, or 20 years down the line, whenever you're ready, you can use that as a down payment towards buying a house. Or the same building that you're living in, you can buy it. So now, like, I always put myself in the shoes of everyone, because I'm a renter myself. I have young kids who might not be able to see that their father owns a house here. They might not be able to afford a house there. They might have to move to some place in the interior BC or even to Alberta.
My assistant just wrote me a message saying that there's 70,000 BC residents that left for other provinces in the past year, and 8 out of 10 of them are under the age of 40.
Honestly,
what are you going to do to address this situation?
That's the same thing, right? Like same plan. Roots project. We're going to make transit free, so it doesn't show up as
transit
100% free.
This is across Lower Mainland.
I know, but we're going to start with Vancouver.
Okay.
All right, so whatever we do in Vancouver is going to trickle down to all over Lower Mainland. So TransLink, we as mayor, like you said, on the board. And you have this possibility, because we have the money to do it, we can buy something called a residential pass.
Okay. Right now, the government of Canada and the BC government are coming in together to save the housing market by purchasing a lot of condominiums. Save is a stretch of a word. Is this something that you support? Do you believe that the government should be owning up and saying that we need to purchase more land? Or is this just a scare tactic on their end to ensure that the housing market doesn't collapse?
Well, I think it's more than BC government, it's the federal government. They're trying to save their own cronies here.
Yeah.
You're not buying affordable housing. You're not buying a rental building and try to save it or try to give it out to people. You're buying a luxury apartment over $1.5 million.
Developments that didn't sell out.
Didn't sell out. And you know what, like what we are going to do is, I think that is something that they're scared about, is that we're going to do is we're going to increase the empty house tax. So any empty apartment, we're going to raise the tax to 30 to 40%.
Okay.
So now, the longer they stay empty, the landlord has to pay for it. Because the thing is, like, if you're taking land from the city and you're promising, let's say it was initially 20%, but like now I believe Ken Sim finished it, like it should be affordable housing. But what often happens is like 10 to 20% of that affordable housing has been taken over, but the rest of the building is empty.
Yeah.
What are we going to do with the empty buildings?
Yeah.
So my plan is simple. We're going to tax them. All right, like if you're not going to give it away, we're going to tax you. Maybe you should have thought it before, like, hey, you know what, like it should be available to every single one. What we're also going to do is right away is that all the office buildings that are empty, we're going to rezone them and we're going to make it like a small apartment buildings right there in downtown.
Switch over the workspaces to livable spaces.
Yeah, we're living in the 21st century. People work from home.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I
home from work.
I home from work.
I don't work from home. I home from work. You know, and not the corner you like Mamdani, but what experience do you bring to the table?
Well, I have worked in 11 countries before I actually moved down to Canada. I'm 34 years old.
Wow.
But at the same time, like I have worked in humanitarian, I worked in oil and gas, I have worked in environmental. So from SOS Village to orphanages to working in Brazil in an orphanage where our job was to make sure that every single kid like has the opportunity, the same opportunity that I'm trying to bring to Vancouver in City Hall. That they have, as leaders, our job is to provide those opportunities, give them options, and see them grow. Those seeds that I put in at that time while I was in Brazil, now they email me, they text me, they share their pictures on Instagram. It's like, because of you, we're here. And that is more than anything that you can achieve. The satisfaction that you get by helping people, it is more than any money, more than $1 billion, more than any amount that can make you happy. And that is something that is missing in Vancouver politics too, right? Like these politicians, they don't know how to be grateful.
Yeah.
They are only there to help the 1%. They talk about things that are normal, average, ordinary person like me would not care.
Now I'm going to give your opposition a couple of points here, and I'm going to ask you on their behalf. Do you have skin in the game?
Of course.
What does that look like? I want you to talk to me about how you tried to do something in the past. I want you to talk to me about your campaigns. Frankly, this is the first time many people are hearing about you, but this is not your first rodeo. Walk us through it.
All right, so initially in Richmond-Steveston area, and that is, I believe that's the time that we actually met.
Yeah.
In Richmond-Steveston area, I was trying to get elected as a member of parliament. And how that came into being was like the same reason, right? Like people started coming in, Muhammad, you're working on the backgrounds. Muhammad, you've been helping people get a job and do all those kind of things, and you've been very vocal about Palestine. Palestine is in my heart. So, I mean, you've been very vocal, but in the halls of power, like no matter what kind of protest that you do, they don't hear you because they live in their ivory towers. They do not care about the 90% of the people, how they live. They only care about the 10%, the 1% that are super rich. Their bosses, I would say. So I started over there, my campaign. Like I started from grassroots. So in some time, like people made me realize, hey, you know what, like to have certain power, you need to run from a party. And then there was NDP that reached out to me at that time. And then there were a couple of options that I had at that time. Because Liberal candidate was already elected, so they do not go through the same system. So I sat down with
So people were trying to poach you?
Yes. They work because you work on the background, right? Like
Yeah.
when people see that you're working on the background and you've been doing, and people know you, you have name recognition, they will approach you. But at that time,
what would you say to people that would say that's flip-flopping? That it's very hard for you to follow you? What would you say to them?
what do you mean? Sorry, say that
In
again.
the sense that you could be NDP, you could be liberal, you could be conservative. This man can't get his horse in line.
The thing is, it's simple, right? Like for me, it doesn't matter which party it is. For me, it matters what people that I'm representing. Like in Vancouver, I'm a Vancouverite.
Yeah.
When I was running from Richmond-Steveston area, that was like I'm the person who's running from
Right.
Richmond-Steveston area. It doesn't matter what the party represents. Most often time, my goal has always been simple. Whatever it takes to help the people in my riding. Right? Like, and same here, like in Vancouver, I'm a long-time resident of Vancouver. Why am I doing it? Like people ask me, oh, are you from the left side? Your values from the right side, or are you center? Like, are you Vancouver liberals, or are you a progressive, or conservative?
Fundamentally,
Yeah.
fundamentally, I'm a conservative. I came here under the Harper administration, but in the past election, like you said, it was hard for me to think of voting for an individual or a leader who doesn't align with our moral values. Right
So-
now, in a time where morality is a toss-up, where do you stand?
Well, when it comes down to morality, I stand on a very basic thing, right? Like, my job is here to represent the people of Vancouver. It doesn't matter what their views are. It doesn't matter are they left, right, or what is the color of their skin. What is obligated as a mayor of Vancouver, my job is to represent every single one of them. My job is to make sure that everyone feels welcome in the city of Vancouver. Everyone feels that they are part of something big. They feel that their city supports them and stands with them.
Okay. Wow. This city, as you know, is full of haters. People who just don't know how to support. Right? And I kind of want you to dive into that and lean into that. What is an unpopular opinion or a policy that you have that
Tax
you're
the rich.
running for? Tax the rich.
Tax the rich. Simple. We're going to put like a surcharge of 2% on $5 million plus properties, right? So oftentimes, like these politicians that are running against me, and I call them politicians, not leaders, for the same reason, is that, hey, they help their cronies out. Like people who bought these houses at a value of an SUV right now they got to pay their share back, right? Like they got to be fair with the other 90% of the people. You'll be surprised to know it's between 70 to 90% of the Vancouverites are rentals. They're living on rentals. So our job is to represent everyone. I'm not against nobody, but I just feel like in being fair. I just feel that if you have the money, you should share with every single one. Recently, Ken Sim had 0-on-0 budget where he did not increase the rent, did not increase the mortgage of the people living in these buildings. So as a renter myself, I did not see that trickle down towards, like my rent increased this year. So not just me, like you go out and you start talking to people and like, oh, there was no effect of that. So this was a ploy. It was a political ploy to get more donations. Like Ken Sim raised about $2 million in 2022. He's trying to do the same thing. 600 people spoke against the similar budget, 600 plus, and still they passed the budget. So it tells you that there's a huge gap between people who are actually living and running the city, keeping the lights on, and the people who are running the show. What I am trying to do is trying to close the gap. I am going to be the glue, right? Like, hey, you know what? The 90% people, the working class, the union people, the nurses, we need to make sure that they're comfortable. We need to make sure that they can live in a city like Vancouver. It should not be an option. I was talking to a nurse. My wife just recently gave birth, like about a couple of weeks ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And I was talking to a nurse over there, and I don't know if you know that nurses recently made like a 72-hour strike notice, which is very hurtful for me because I have seen the professionalism of nurses firsthand.
We have the best nurses.
We have the best nurses in the world. And one of the things that nurses were talking about we were on an Italian day and we were talking to them. I'm like, What can we do, right? Like I always approach everyone like, how can I help? Right? Like I have plans, I have policies, but how can I help you? So something that they mentioned and we did ingrain into our policy is purpose-built housing for nurses near hospitals. So right now, a nurse is coming from all the way to Surrey to Vancouver hospitals. It is in my power as a mayor. It is in my power as in the city hall to make housing near that, buy the land and make a housing just for nurses. So you don't have to wait. A nurse who did like a 12-hour shift does not have to wait another half an hour because her colleague is stuck somewhere. Or his colleague is stuck somewhere. So my job is to listen. My job as a leader is to hear what people have to do, and that is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to build a purpose-built housing for seniors. We're going to build purpose-built housing for nurses. We're going to build purpose-built housing for workers, so everyone can live a life here and call the city home.
Okay, just a shift back into policy.
Yeah.
Public safety is a major concern. We're talking about FIFA just right now. FIFA, the budget for public safety for FIFA was $100 million. I walked around the city and all I saw was just an increased number in police, in uniformed staff. How do we increase public safety? How do we improve public safety? I want to hear from you.
That is a very good question, I tell you. And we need to take a step back when we talk about public safety here. Public safety does not just come for putting more boots on the ground, right? This is not a police state. This is not a police-run city. That's how it feels.
I saw the drones in the sky.
Yeah, I mean, I am all for using technology, but the thing is you have to understand this is not a city that is run by police. What you have to understand, this public safety is a bigger issue than cops, VPD. Public safety comes in with affordable housing. When people are not able to afford groceries, when people have to decide between buying a diaper and buying a bus pass. People have to make a decision buying food, baby formula, and buying sanitary pads, right? Like as simple as that.
People are choosing whether or not to hire an extra cashier or hire a security guard.
Exactly, right? Like I believe there are like 29% of the people right now, like in downtown, that they hired a security guard.
Yeah, you see it on the streets.
Because people are scared. And then there are like, I believe 33% of the people who actually told me that, hey, you know what? We lost customer base because of that, right? Like it's the scare tactic. It's a warmongering kind of thing, right? Like you put police on the ground, boots on the floor, on the ground, like people get scared. People don't feel safe. For me, it is simple. Create a pathway for people who are being treated unjustly. We're going to create fast neighborhood tenancy act, like which we're going to deal with all the corrupt landlords who are not fixing things, who are kicking people out for just to increase the rent. We're going to freeze the rent for the first couple of years. So while we're managing these crises, we have frozen the rent, like because it should have been frozen this year when we gave 0-on-0 budget. But since it never trickled down, now we're going to give people a rent freeze for all over Vancouver. Also, what we're trying to do is, part of that is city-run grocery stores. What we're going to do is we're going to buy quality products in bulk from local farmers and sell it. We're going to negotiate with these diaper companies and baby formula companies and buy in bulk and give it out to people, residents of Vancouver. It is possible that like my mentor in this, these ideas that I get is from my mentor, like in New York, Zoran Mamdani, right? Like in over like 100 years, like the crime rate has gone down drastically in over 200 days. So it is possible because he's doing the right things. He's investing the money in the right places. When you invest money in the right places, in the right services, in the right people, results happen. If you start depending as a city, you become helpless and start depending on non-for-profits. You start depending on like these contractors to do the job for you. then you fail. Because they're not going to think about you first. They're going to think about their cost first. Well, how can they make money? How can they be profitable?
Speaking about money, we're talking a lot about affordability, but this is contingent on the fact that people are actually going to, work. And I'm going to ask you a question that's a very hard one. Right now, joblessness is on the rise. Unemployment is on the rise. AI data centers are scheduled to be built in Vancouver.
Yeah.
An inevitable force AI is. I want to hear your plans on how we're going to ensure not only that people are being fed, but they're doing it by their own means of employing themselves. Nobody likes a handout.
And hey, you know what? Like as leaders, like I always say, what is our job as leaders? Proactively create opportunities for people. All right. For me, it was simple. In one of the policies in Bright Future Vancouver, it's called Aurora Engine. I love Auroras. So one of the part in Aurora Engine is we looked at a grander scale. We're like, what can we do that will impact people in real life, right? Like in real time. So what we did is we reached out to UBC, we reached out to BCIT, and we'll be like, what if we create an academy called Aurora Skills Academy? So what happened, like I'll take you back a little bit where Industrial Revolution was happening.
Wow, way back.
Way back.
Okay.
And in the Industrial Revolution, there were a lot of protests that were happening. A lot of people lost their jobs. Then came .com revolution, right? Like when computers were a big thing, the websites came in, a lot of people lost their jobs to that too. So I went back and be like, okay, what was missing and what can we do differently? What we can do is we cannot stop AI revolution. It's coming whether you like it or not. But what we can do is train our workers better. So let's say you are an electrician and one of your job is to make schedules, or one of your job is to make designs or something. So and right now, because AI is taking over so drastically, so what you can do is you can come down to Aurora Skills Academy, where there will be professors who are well versed in those software.
So vocational training.
Vocational training, that's the word. So we're going to train them free of cost, run by the city.
How are we going to pay for this?
We're going to tax the rich, my friend.
Oh my God.
We're also going to bring in businesses, right? Like we often, and we're going to come to that once I finish my thought here. So once these people graduate from them, they're going to get a certificate from the city. And they're going to go out and they can do their jobs because now they'll be well versed in their in the field. Now they're AI trained as well.
Okay.
So you asked me another question here. You said, where are we going to get the money?
Yeah.
We're going to tax the rich. That is plain and simple. That's the first one. So what we are already started doing is we reached out to Brazilian Council Journal.
Okay.
And we went to them and be like, hey, you know what can we do as a mayor to help out, to help get businesses in Vancouver?
Yeah.
You're doing businesses in Toronto, you're doing businesses in Ontario, but you're not doing businesses here. So what they said is that we have so much red tape that it takes years before we can start doing a business here. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a special department that will deal with international funding. People who wants to start a business, not just international, but also anyone who wants to start a business. You want to start a business, you go in there. 21 days guarantees you get approved. Right? Wow. If it's not 21 days, then you're going to get approved anyways.
Interesting.
It is possible. It is very much possible if we have the dream to do it, if we have the will to do it.
Like you, I am ambitious. And like you, I am optimistic. But unfortunately, this world, as I've experienced through it, I've become a bit more pessimistic. And I live in a society of these pessimists. And it's getting crowded. And I have a question for you.
Sure.
With a world, Vancouver, we have this negative culture. I'm going to be honest. We have a lot of negativity here in Vancouver. How are you going to cut through the noise and prove to everyone that you're the candidate who's going to win?
By showing up. Simple. Right? Like I've already been told to go back to your country. I've been told we don't want people like this, right? Like we don't want another Muslim. I've been even told that I'm gonna put a Sharia law on it.
Inshallah, brother. Relax. I'm joking.
So we gotta take again towards my mentor Zohran Mamdani, right? Like it doesn't matter what religion you come from. It doesn't matter what your belief is. It doesn't matter what the color of your skin is. If we are giving it to everyone and helping everyone out, like in the Bible they say love thy neighbor. So if we are loving our neighbors like we've been told by Bible, by the Quran, by other texts, even people who believe in energies, right? Like if you're giving the right energies to people, people will start walking the same path as you, right? Like people will start believing again. And that is something that we're missing in the city.
So how are you going to do that? How are you going to get people to walk down this path?
Lead by example, right? Like I have taken this step after, I do not come from a billionaire family. I'm a working class person. I'm a father of 3. It is really hard. It has been really hard, I'm not going to lie. But I am doing it. I'm showing up every single day. And my goal has always been that be the stone, like my father raised me, be that like ripple, right? Like when the stone is thrown in the ocean, it creates a ripple effect. I want that ripple to become a wave, a tsunami. So I am trying to be that ripple.
I get it. You're working on a campaign, and frankly, you're doing an okay job. Things are moving up, and it's nice to see it. But governing is a bit different than campaigning. So what are some of your plans in regards to being a leader in government as opposed to being a leader during a campaign?
Well, excellent question. I was not expecting that question to come through, but thank you for asking me.
And how, you have a council, and the council is not going to be all in support of you. How do you cut through this noise?
Well, we sit down with them. We hear their grievances. We make sure that we agree to disagree at some points. Most of the time that people just want to be heard. People want to be, people have a lot of problems. And as leaders, if I can put what we call in Urdu is marham, I am able to put a Band-Aid on their sores and listen to them and be like, hey, ask the hardest question. Any politician will be like, how can I help?
Right.
And if I ask them those questions and I work together towards building a Vancouver that works for everyone.
So for the people that are saying, oh, this is a Muslim-only candidate, what do you have to say to them? Are you going to work towards building coalitions? Are you working with other groups? You mentioned something about the Brazilians. That's an interesting one.
Well, it's not just Brazilians, right? Like if you look at London.
Ontario.
London, UK. If you look at London, a lot of Qatari investment came in. There is in Saudi Arabia has a lot of investment. Australia has a lot of investment. There was this company in US which
the Arabian royal family owns more real estate than in England than the royal family of England.
That is true. Actually, that's Qatari family.
Oh.
That's not the Saudi Arabian one. It's not about owning real estate. It's about what we can do to create more jobs for people. I have this dream, like any city, it's successful not because we have more workers. What we have is more entrepreneurs. Our goal is that in that Aurora Skills Academy, even somebody who is in 12th grade who is interested in running for politics or running for anything else or wants to start a business, they can come down there. They can get educated by one of the best professors in the world. We would bring in company leaders, right? Like we will bring in leadership from different companies and come and give a lecture. We're gonna bring people together. Our goal as Bright Future Vancouver has always been to bring people together rather than divide them.
Okay, so you did this. Let's say this. I'm closing my eyes. I'm dreaming with you. We got it. Election day. You somehow pulled through. 10 years from now, what do you expect in the streets of Vancouver?
Well, on a regular Tuesday, I would say that a young family wakes up in a Roots project, travels on a free transit, on a residential pass, have any kind of training they want in our Aurora Skills Academy, and take more money home and more time to be able to spend with their families.
And on the flip side, what are you most afraid of? Most afraid that we will lose if we do nothing?
I think we're already losing. For over 200 years, the youngest mayoral candidate was 42 years old. In a city where it is full of youth who's been rented out, who's been scared that and told that, hey, you cannot do this, it is happening already. It's not something, a scary dream for the future. It's happening right now. What we need to do is we need to stand up. We need to stop protesting and start doing actions, because there are parties who've been registered since 1969, like COPE. I call them a protest party, right? Like they protest, they have great numbers they can pull out when it's about protest, but they cannot win an election. They haven't had a mayoral candidate since 2002. The reason being is that oftentimes when election time comes in, they start negotiating. They do not have faith in themselves, right? Like what they did, like all the left progressive parties join hand together against him. So you're trying to tell me that you cannot win by yourself? That's the message that I'm getting, right? Like when you say
It is hard.
It is hard. It's not
hard.
It's hard. It's not impossible. But then you have to put in the hours, right? Where you need to put in the effort. You need volunteers. You need funding. You need to $5. As simple as $5.
So walk
goes a
me
long way.
through what you need to win.
Well, first of all, I need volunteers. So
Okay.
go on brightfuturevancouver.ca, register yourself as a volunteer. Also, donate $5, $10. You buy a coffee in that. Donate for the bigger cause, because you need a war chest to be able to fight these oligarchs. You need a war chest to be able to do anything. So far, what we have been able to achieve is people just like our favorite cameraman, like he invested in our dream voluntarily.
Yeah.
Somebody created a website
Yeah.
voluntarily, right? Like so, what we need is people. What we need is energy. What we need is city councilors, young people, women to step up for us. Be like, hey, we can do this together, because this is not just for me. It's our dream.
Beyond winning the election, what other victories are you looking forward to?
I think inspiring younger generation, inspiring the immigrants who think just coming here and to survive is okay. Inspiring people from indigenous cultures. The people who own this land have been told that this is not their land anymore. So I want to inspire every single one of Vancouverites who've been told that stay over there, stay in your lane, don't do anything, we'll do this for you. I just think that we need to call bullshit, and we need to say enough is enough. We need to say, let's do this together, because if we want to make a change, you got to do it.
Okay.
You got to step up.
And for the young people who still don't believe that there is a chance for them in a rigged system, what words of inspiration might you shed upon it?
They're not wrong.
Being a realist does help.
They're not wrong, right? Like this system has been rigged against them, rigged against the very same people who are running against me.
And what are you doing to counter this negative force?
I stood up. I pulled the chair and be like, hey, you know what? Like if you're not gonna give me the chair at the table, seat at the table, I'm gonna take it forcefully.
Nice.
It's not a party of fun and games. It's a party of revolution. And it needs to come now. Look at what happened in New York.
Yeah.
The biggest upset. He was 1%, like not too long ago from the election time.
Anything's possible.
Anything is possible if you're willing to believe. And that's what I'm trying to implement in every single one of us. Have faith, believe in yourself. We can do this. We can do this together.
You're asking for a lot, Muhammad. You're asking for a lot. And frankly, I hope that you get it. For many reasons. We've spoken about it. But in order to do so, genuinely, I would recommend people to reach out, and stay tuned. Regardless of the outcome, the effort is necessary. As we wrap up our discussion here today, I want to invite everyone watching online to stay tuned with our updates here at msfr. we do this for you. The community is open, the seats are here, and we're excited to offer the space and connect you to the leaders. Luckily, we have Muhammad Ahmad, an aspiring leader in our building today. Thank you for the conversation we just held. And to wrap it off, I'll hand it to you. What are some last words of inspiration, hope that you may shed upon us to give us a bright future here in Vancouver?
Well, I would put it in the great Tommy Douglas, what he said. The greatest power is with the people, not the people in power. That's how I would end it.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
That's what's up. Thank you everyone for joining us, and stay tuned as we update you on the msfr Forum, the Forge, and the Foundry. Barakallah feek.